Lake County. This is KPFZ 88.1 FM Community Radio. We are broadcasting live here from Lakeport. We are heard in Lakeport, Clear Lake, and all around the lake, and we also stream live. To catch us on the internet, go to www.kpfz.org and follow the prompts to Live 365, and you can catch us on the internet. This is Voices of Lake County, 2-hour show. I'm your host, Olga Martin Steele. The first hour of the show is the Veterans Hour. Before I get started, and with that show, I'll introduce my guests in a minute. I'm going to do a couple of public service announcements, and then we will get right into our show, the Veterans Hour. First announcement I want to make is an announcement to ask you to attend the town rally at Harbor Park on June 22nd from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. To hear from our elected officials and others about the issue that is really plaguing the community of Lucerne, and that is the very, very high cost of water that is charged by the California Water Services Company. So show up, show your support, June 22nd, 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. For a town rally at Harbor Park in Lucerne. Hope to see you there. Second announcement I want to make is for the Time Bank of Thrive Lake County. Time Bank is having a meetup brunch Saturday, June 22nd from 10 a.m. to noon. Now that's over at Middletown. It's going to be held at the Community United Methodist Church, which is on 15833 Armstrong Street. It begins at 10 and concludes at 12:30. There's an orientation, kind of an introduction to the concept of time banking. There'll be some interactive activities, and if you want to stay after and learn a little bit more about the time bank, maybe the time bank software, from noon to 12:30, someone will be there to help you with that. All ages are welcome, and admission is free. So next Saturday, June 22nd, 10 to noon, at the Middletown Community United Methodist Church. And then the last public service announcement I'm going to make for this morning is an announcement for a Veterans Art Show, which is from July 5 through July 31 at the Ukiah Art Center. So this is a call out for artists, photographers, craftsmen who are veterans to show your art. And to enter I'm guessing it's a contest, doesn't really say that, but it says to enter, contact the Art Center of Ukiah, and the number is 707-462-1400. If you're interested in the Veterans Art Show in Ukiah from July 5 through July 31, contact them at 462-1400. Okay. So I'm your host, Olga Martin Steele, and this is the first hour of Voices of Lake County, the Veterans Hour. And with me in the studio this morning are, happy to have you back, gentlemen, by the way. We missed you a couple weeks ago, but I'm glad you're back. Okay.
Yeah, life happens.
So Bob Penny with the local Veterans Administration. And good morning, Bob.
Good morning, good morning.
And Dean Gotham with the Vietnam Veterans Association. Good morning, Dean. And Chris Taliaferro with our local state EDD office. Good morning, Chris. And backing us up at the controls is Ann Newport, our board person extraordinaire. Good morning, gentlemen. Thank you for being here.
Certainly. Glad to be here.
All right. You must have all kinds of things to report out on.
One of the interesting things this morning is I drove into Lakeport. I saw all the flags.
Yes.
Down the street, and I just happened to ask Bob. I'm like, Bob, what is that for? Because I really didn't have a clue. I thought it was for the Army's birthday today, but Bob gave me something different. So.
All right.
Yeah.
So we're going to start with that.
Flag Day. Come on.
Today is Flag Day.
Army Day. Huh? Okay.
Army's birthday.
All right. So I take it we're not all from the Army in this room.
No.
None of us are.
Yeah.
Sorry, Army.
Yeah.
Well, hey, I'm going to represent then the Army because my dad was in World War II in the Army. So there you go.
Well, okay.
June 14th, 1775 is when the Army officially became adopted.
Oh, good. All right. That's a good factoid.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
very interesting. And Marine boot camp, they beat you up over the fact that the Marines were first. Well, obviously that's not true.
Well, we were at the. It's interesting. I think that this is friendly rivalry, right? We were.
Oh yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah, for sure.
We were at the Upper Lake Wild West days not too long ago, a few weeks ago, my husband and I, and we ran into Mr. Parker. So we talked a little bit. He's been on the show before, and so he and my husband were talking because the first thing he asked my husband is, well, are you a vet? And he said, well, yeah, I'm a vet. And what branch, So, okay, he's Air Force. And so the next thing you know, the guys that are sitting at the booth are making fun of the Army. And so we got to go over and talk to the Air Force guys, but it was really very friendly banter and just a lot of fun. And yeah, it was nice to see that they had a booth there at Wild West Days. So,
Yeah, we all give each other a bad time, no matter what surface we're in.
yeah. Okay. So who wants to get
It's
started?
not entirely true. I'm very grateful to the Navy and the Air Force for the support we got.
There you go.
5-inch guns came in handy more than once. And, God love B-52s.
All right. See, there's just all kinds of perspectives on this, right?
For sure.
Yeah.
Most-
But to all of you, can't be said enough. Thanks for your service.
Thank you.
All right, Mr. Petty, do you want to get the ball rolling this morning?
All right, I will start. Well, I spent all last week training with the VA
Oh, okay.
in downtown Reno.
Really? Well, tell us about that.
Yes, well, I'll tell you, with all of everything that's going on, all the congressional inquiries to the VA's backlogged claims and all of that, it's very obvious when they came and gave presentations to us, they're going at a fast and furious pace to change things. And one of the biggest things that they're doing, in fact, we had one of the big wigs from the VA, the Undersecretary, General Allison Hickey, came and gave about a 2-hour speech as far as the changes that are being made. They're completely changing their computer systems to try and do paperless claims.
Oh, wow.
This is definitely on track and is going to be on track. In fact, it already started earlier this year. And this is their solution to save time on claims for the personnel in the VA that are working on these claims. And they're saying that hours and hours are going to be spent per person, are saved per person by going paperless, plus less chance of losing files. When files are sent from one end of the country to the other, when they outsource the file folders. Like they're doing right now in trying to catch up. Folders are being sent to Muskogee, Oklahoma, or Lincoln, Nebraska, even on the East Coast.
So I'm imagining a computer database of everyone who's been in one branch of the service or another that now you can easily populate data, whatever data is there that's relevant, onto an application. Is that
correct?
Where they're headed?
That's exactly where they're headed. Exactly where they're headed. It's supposed to make things a lot easier using the new technology. They have some of the top people in their fields developing these computer programs to help the VA accomplish this. They have one program that we have access to, that we're going to have access to. We don't yet, but it'll be there shortly, and it's to be used for us to assist a veteran. And they're really pushing for veterans to get enrolled in what's called e-benefits. That's the big thing right now, and for the program that is for us that are assisting veterans for filing claims, the veteran has to be enrolled in this e-benefits for us to help them. And then once they're enrolled in e-benefits, they can track their own claims once they're in this e-benefits program.
Oh, wonderful. Yeah.
And so this is really important, and this is something that I'm encouraging every veteran to take part in, not only for benefits, but they can take part in seeing when their checks were sent out, if they're in receipt of disability payments. They can see when the checks were sent out, or if a check wasn't sent. You can't imagine at the first of every month how many phone calls I get on the first. Oh, I haven't got my check yet. But what a lot of people don't consider is that when a check, of course, all checks are going direct deposit now.
Now, right.
And the banks, different banks post them at different times. So if you check in the morning on the 1st, a lot of times the bank won't have it posted yet in the system. So anyway, so all of this together is going to just make a better access for all veterans to the veteran system.
Question. Did I understand correctly that for new enrollees, they must enroll in e-benefits?
Yes,
okay.
for us to help them.
Okay.
Yes. I'm encouraging every single veteran to get enrolled in e-benefits, not only while they have claims, but even afterwards, to keep track of their disability payments and all of that, too.
That allows them then to enter the system, create a personal password, and then get access to certain information about their benefits.
That's correct,
right.
yeah.
Okay.
And there's also a thing called Health e-Vet. When they're enrolled in the VA medical system, they can reorder renewal prescriptions, renew the prescriptions, refills, right online, real quick. It takes about 10 minutes at the most. It takes me longer just to get on the site than it does to order the prescription. So,
wow, that's a great. Yeah, that's a great benefit.
There's also secure messaging, which is kind of an important component.
Right. Yeah, part of that Healthy Vet is messaging directly to your doctor. It sends in a secure email directly to the veteran's doctor.
Wow, that sounds really, really good. Now, I presume they're going to go online incrementally, or you said in some cases they're already using it.
E-benefits is in use right now. Okay, I have a lot of veterans that are using that to track their claims, and if they don't get the answers they want in that, they call me to look it up on the screens.
What about the paperless applications?
It's like I say, they have started it early this year, I think it was, and part of the program is running, and part of it is still being put together. Okay. Because
so part of it's in development.
It is part of the. We had the program developers there explaining what they were doing, and they were asking for our input as to how best to put things together, or how things should work together.
Oh, good.
So that's great.
They've got input from first-hand users. Now, I always worry about the people that don't have computers or don't readily have access to computers. They don't get left in the cold on this, right?
They can always come to the EDD office or Workforce Lake to help out with those applications.
Good.
Yeah, and there's computers at the local libraries too.
I know.
They can set up get set up with those accounts at the local library computers.
And their smartphones.
Right. Well, yeah. I think, in this day and age, most of us know someone, if we don't have a computer, know someone that's got one. And I know I have people that have computers, but they're not really very adept at using them, so I end up helping them. So hopefully there's people out there that are there to kind of help those that don't have computers, or if they have them, don't, are just getting up to speed with them. It's a big shift to start using computers if you have never used a computer. I have some friends that are trying to get there. We do have our first caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Yeah, hi. I'm a Vietnam veteran, and personally, I don't know anything about computers. I don't have a computer, and it sounds like for me to be tracking my claims or whatever, I'm going to have to go out and spend a couple of $1,000 to get a computer, plus be trained on how to use it.
Okay. Well, you don't have to, and that's why my office is there to assist you.
Okay, so you do offer assistance if somebody's ignorant of computers and stuff?
Yes, most definitely. You're always welcome, please.
And Chris Taliaferro, who's with a local state EDD office, also provides assistance here out of Lakeport, right, Chris?
And Clear Lake. I do Lakeport and Clear Lake, both sides of the lake. Clear Lake on Tuesdays.
Want to tell them your address?
Yes. So in Lakeport, it's 55 First Street here in Lakeport. And in Clear Lake, it's actually at the VA clinic.
Okay, I know where that is, right next to Enterprise Auto or something up that way.
Don't you do free computer
next to the hotel?
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And we also have programs through our partners, our WIA Workforce Lake, that have free computer classes. So, I mean, you're more than welcome to come in and,
I got to tell you,
learn the basics of them.
Maybe I took a computer class twice and I didn't get anything out of it. In fact, they threw me out of the second one for being too frustrated. But anyway, okay. But it's nice to know that you help out down there.
That's what we're there for.
Okay, well, you guys have a good day.
Well, thank you for the call.
Oh, you're welcome. Thank you.
So, folks, if you'd like to call in, the number to call is 263-3435, 263-3435. Be free to call in and ask any of the gentlemen here in the room, all very knowledgeable, any questions you might have, or to join in on their conversation. We welcome that. So
For sure.
Yeah, I always. I know that I just know an awful lot of people who are phobic about computers, and even though they understand the benefit and want to go in that direction, it's a huge leap for some people. So we don't want to leave anybody behind.
I resisted it for a long time.
Yeah. My mother says no, they have germs and viruses, so she does not want them in her house.
That's good.
Especially those handheld devices.
But that's why people, who really, I know Chris in his office and his staff, and in my office, in the veterans office, we encourage veterans, no matter what their computer savvy, please come in, ask for help. We're there to help you. Okay?
Good. Mm-hmm. Good, yeah, I know. Good. Okay, so carry on. We interrupted your flow.
No, that's okay. It's okay. But the VA is completely restructuring and retraining their staffs right now. They're doing what they call cross-functional training to have teams. So a veteran's claim will no longer be handled by a single person, go from person to person to person. It will now be handled by teams, and these teams will handle the claim from the beginning to the end. That will...
What a great idea.
Oh, gee. That's way past due.
Yeah, we're past the days when an assembly line for these types of situations worked very well. There's probably an awful lot of information that somebody needs to know each step along the way. It's
the last 2 years, they were saying last year, and they're well on their way this year, of handling from beginning to end over 1 million claims per year.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Does that give you a little bit of an idea?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's a biggie. And they're, with when everything gets working together, that should increase their capacity by leaps and bounds.
Good. Good. That's good news.
It's good news. They have, when a claim goes into any VA office, depending on what type of claim it is. If it's a non-rating claim, a non-rating claim is possibly something to add a dependent, a spouse or children. Mm-hmm. Okay, those are things that can be done very quickly. Which have not. Up till now, I mean, it's been like a year to add on a dependent. And That's created some additional problems because of that. So they've got that. They've got the next one is what they call the express lane. For any fully developed claim, now when I say fully developed claim, that means when we send a claim in, and we've always tried to do this, it's not always completely possible, but if we have a claim that we've got everything together, we send it in, it has only one or two issues, those claims, what they're trying to get down to is that a claim will be done in 125 days. Okay, and sometimes even quicker. Yeah. Depending on the severity of the conditions. Mm-hmm. Like someone with Parkinson's sometimes can take longer. It's a much more complicated issue than just a yes or no. Does he have it? So they have the next thing they have is the core lane. That's fully developed claims that have 3 or more issues.
The core lane?
Core lane, Core. Okay. Now those are a little more complicated as far as numbers of issues, that type of thing. And then they have the next one's called special operations. These are the very difficult claims. The military sexual trauma claims, PTSD claims, probably Parkinson's claims, that type, some of the real difficult disabilities that have many, many secondary conditions.
Okay.
And then they go to the appeals and notice of disagreement lane.
So it seems like they put in a lot of thought into organizing these claims.
It's like I say, it's way
so
past due. Yeah.
If you have a very complex claim and somebody else has a more simple claim, the simple claim isn't sitting behind the more complex claim waiting.
Exactly.
This started out actually started out with 3 lanes, and now they're up to 5.
Yes. Which it's needed. It really is. Like you say, you don't want to mix up the 1 or 2 issue claims with the ones that are several issues. Like I say, the less issued one can be decided a lot quicker because of that. And sometimes I've had ones decided within 3 months.
And I would wager the core lanes, the special operations, and the notice of appeals requires greater knowledge and depth.
Yes. Plus the additional training they're giving the personnel too, where one person isn't trained in just one job.
Right.
They're trained in several.
Let me ask you a question, Bob. When somebody comes to you and they have a claim, are you able to sort of do a preliminary assessment of the claim and give them some idea how long it might take to process it? And if so, now versus this new system, do you look forward to a much faster processing?
Yes, we are looking forward with these new changes. Things will start happening faster. They'll be decided a lot quicker now with all the changes they're making. And I'm seeing the results. I'm going through all my awards right now, and I have stacks of awards where this time last year, or my last reporting period, I had maybe a quarter of the the claims were still pending. I wasn't getting the awards because they were still being worked on.
Yeah, still on
right
hold.
Now, I have stacks of awards that I'm working on.
Well, that's a good sign. We do have a caller. Caller, you're on the air.
Yes, good morning.
Good morning.
I'm going to ask you a question first. Is Andy in the studio today or not?
Who, Andy?
Yes.
Yeah, he's working today.
Okay, good.
He'll be here probably till around 11:30.
Okay, so he's there now?
Yeah. You can call him at 263-3640.
Yeah, okay. Good morning, Dean and Bob, and happy Father's Day to both. I don't know if Dean's a father or not, but happy Father's Day to Bob.
Not that he knows of.
It wasn't for any lack of effort.
And we have Chris Taliaferro in the studio also. I don't know if he's a father.
Oh, happy Father's Day to all the fathers out there in the world, Lake County and all the world. Anyway, I'm not a daddy, but I feel like I'm the father of this earth, and I'm not happy with the way the earth's being treated. But anyway, happy Flag Day to everybody out there.
All right.
It is Flag Day, and Dean mentioned that, and yeah, we do need to honor our flag. That's what we stand for. So
Here.
Yeah. So anyway, it's a good thing you guys are there. I see a new computer in the VA there. They haven't got it hooked up yet. yet. I guess a new thing for checking in on their health system. It's in a lobby there, but they haven't got it hooked up yet. It's in the VA now. They haven't got it actually hooked up yet. And
Are you talking about the clinic there?
Yeah, in Clinic. It's got a new computer inside there, but it's in there next to the phone, but they haven't got it hooked up yet. It's a brand new computer. So for logging into your health care system there at the clinic. So
so the veterans can hook into their Healthy Vet?
Right there in the office, right there where the phone is. You'll be able to sit down and hook and plug in and use the computer right there. It's there already, but it just has to be hooked up and I guess wired up and whatnot, programmed and whatnot.
Great.
But it's there already, but it's got to be programmed, I guess. And
well, thanks, Steve.
That's a cool idea. I had heard about that.
Yeah, just it's something new. Well, I think Dean, you didn't see it. You were too busy when you were in there for the meeting that was sitting there, but you didn't even see it sitting there.
No, I didn't.
You were.
So that's for veterans to use when they come into the clinic.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah, for checking in and for checking in their health records or whatnot, and they can access their stuff that way if they want, and get DD-214s off that and too. You can order DD-214s off that and whatnot. I think is what I read on the flyer on it.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. So it's got the ability to get in the system and get whatever records you want and check your records out and whatever and get your health records or whatever you want to do. Apparently, it's got the ability to show your records and whatnot. Apparently.
Good. Well, thank you for that update.
Thanks, Steve.
Appreciate it.
Yeah. So anyway, I'll let you guys carry on the show. I'm going to call Andy up because I want to order a couple of
CDs.
Shows. CDs.
All right.
Yeah.
Thank you for the call, as always.
You're welcome.
Bye.
Bye.
Thanks, Steve.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah, you got all kinds of notes from that training session. I'm anxious to hear this.
Yeah, we're
I'm waiting
with bated breath. Yeah.
Actually.
Oh, let me do a quick station ID.
Okay.
We're already halfway into the show. This is KPFZ 88.1 FM, community radio, broadcasting live from Lakeport, heard in Lakeport, Clear Lake, and all around the lake. You are listening to Voices of Lake County, first hour, the Veterans Hour. I'm your host, Olga Martin Steele. In the studio with me is Bob Penny, Dean Gotham, and Chris Taliaferro. So welcome back to the show. If you'd like to call in, the number is 263-3435. And back to you, Bob Penny, and your conference training.
Okay. One of the things that I'm excited that's changing is what's called the means test. If anyone that's in the VA medical system, if you have disability ratings less than 50%, you have to do a means test once a year. And this has been a real problem locally because the people in the VA medical system that handle this paperwork have not been putting them in either getting the veteran enrolled in the VA system, or they have not been processing the means test, and then low-income veterans end up getting charged for medications and services. And
So if they're not tested and basically recertified or whatever the term is,
exactly,
then they're going to be charged for their own.
That's automatically.
Yeah. Okay.
Well, they're changing. They're actually doing away with the means test now. They will be checking on each veteran. They will be checking with the IRS and the Treasury on their income and assets. So the veteran will no longer have to report all of that every year.
Oh, good.
So that's going to save a lot of headaches, especially for these low-income veterans. That
Well, this is when you get the sense of the value of this data being available. What a tremendous improvement.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, most definitely.
Good.
Yes.
Because the means test is income-based, right?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
It is. And like I say, the ones that take the brunt of that problem with the lack of personnel putting in the paperwork is that if this information doesn't get reported in a timely manner,
sure,
then they just automatically start charging co-pays to these veterans, and I've had that complaint for several years now, and I've had to spend a lot of extra time once they start getting charged and they take it out of their.
Do they automatically take it out of their pay?
Automatically
wow.
take it out of their Social Security or whatever payments they may be getting.
Even if it's not their fault.
Even if it's not their fault.
Processed.
Then I have to go through a prolonged thing to ask for a waiver of the debt and blah, blah, blah.
Wow. Yeah.
And it just makes more work for everyone, when that goes through like that.
Well, good. That's good news.
So that's excellent news.
Yeah.
Yeah. So let me see. We one of the sponsors of this this training was Humana. And they were putting out the information that they are expanding their program. They have been taking over. What is it? There are roughly 825 local VA clinics across the country. Approximately 200 of those are run privately. And what the VA does, it contracts with local doctors, that type of thing. Well, this Humana Corporation is taking over some of those contract units and running the clinics for the VA, and I think they're planning to. I think they said they've got about 15% of that 200 right now. But in support of that, they are trying to hire more veterans to work for them in their main company as well as in the clinics. And they have a website, which I will give. It's www.jobs.net/jobs/Humana-veterans.
Okay, you're going to have to repeat that. I couldn't even write it fast enough. So
www.jobs.net/jobs/Humana-veterans.
Okay.
And they are hiring veterans and veteran spouses.
Oh, wow.
They have a priority for veterans and their spouses.
That's also a big initiative within the VA now, is to hire veterans.
Good.
And Humana is also starting some programs for post 9/11 veterans. They have like what they call a boot camp. If a veteran wants to start their own business, they have this boot camp. And this is for the post 9/11 veterans that have disabilities. That's their priority. It's to help them start their own businesses, and they sponsor their this boot camp to help them get on their feet. And so they could probably go to the Humana website and find out more about that too.
Yeah, I was thinking that was a very, very long website. That gets you right to, I presume it gets you right to their, probably the recruiting information.
Correct.
But if you Google Humana, I'm sure you can find them that way as well.
And I know a lot of people have heard about the contaminated drinking water at Camp Lejeune, the Marine base in North Carolina. And the VA is starting to go through those cases and the disabilities that are caused by the contamination, which the majority of disabilities from that contamination are different types of cancers, lymphomas, melanomas, that type of thing. And so if anybody has been exposed to that, please come into the Veterans Office. Let us help you get a claim started because they're saying the contamination not only is affecting the veteran, but their generations, future generations too. It's affecting the children with disabilities.
Wow.
heritable damage.
Yeah, they're not providing, the VA's not providing any service connection or financial assistance to family members, but they are offering medical treatment for family members that have the disabilities attributable to this water
The
contamination.
families of veterans.
Yes. Because a lot of times, the veterans and their families live on the bases, that type of thing.
But they do provide treatment.
Yes, they do.
That's something.
Yes.
Yeah, that's a terrible situation. So, good.
Okay. VA home loans. Now, this is something that really isn't talked a lot